Welcome to Vichy in the centre of France, our host for the 2025 Six Nations Under-18s Festival. Six Nations in the name, but 8 nations in reality. England and Scotland ready to do battle in a Calcutta coupe here today. But there is also Wales and Ireland to look forward to. So too France against New Boys Spain, and we just enjoyed Georgia against Italy, setting the tone for a day's running rugby in the blistering sun of the picturesque Vichy. The riches of rugby rivalries has existed between England and Scotland for so many years, and this fresh crop of under-18s look to write their young chapter into the annals. Here is how England shape up, and they're captained by Will Knight in the centre, who has Victor Warsnip for company. Outside of those two are the deadly threats of Charlie Tamani of Northampton Saints and Junior Denny of Gloucester. Two very different wingers, but both richly talented. Harry Wright was England's man of the match against Ireland in their recent warm-up, and Elliot Williams is the only player returning from last year's competition. In the same vein for Scotland, Christian Lindsay is their only returner. He captains the side, the Edinburgh and Musselburgh man, whilst Jack Utterson of Kelso is one of only 2 borderers, along with Rory McAfee of Peebles in the squad. And there is an English flavour to the centres, with Joe Taylor of Harlequins and Will Corbett of Bath Academy making up the midfield. Big benches all the way to 26. It is rolling substitutions when it comes to the Under-18s Festival, as this is a development tool, and we want to see as many young men get minutes on the field of play. Richly talented. both benches. We have a local as our man in the middle, John Ibisate Alde of the French Federation. So he'll know these parts rather well. Vichy, for those of you who like the look of this weather, is one of the great spa towns of Europe, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But it'll feel like anything but a spa day this next 70 minutes. As Scotland and England kick off on match day 1 of the 2025 Six Nations Under-18 Festival. Scotland haven't beaten England at Under-18 age group since 2018. That was a team with the likes of Rufus McLean, Cam Henderson and Rory Darge, who may just be a lion later this summer. Can these young Scots follow in their footsteps today? First line out of the day, Jack Utterson finds his man at the front and zipped away from the hands of Gregor Johnson. Arcing round that outside centre channel. It was a nice break from Luca Matheson, but he had Victor Warsnip hanging around his waist. Good hit coming from England. And you can see the intensity of their press early. How about that for a clear out? Henry Laidlow taken off his feet, swung back, but now it's Scotland's turn to travel in reverse.
Number 7, tackle a player without the ball.
But Jack Lewis, who's still only 16 years old, showing a bit of that youthful exuberance in tackling a player without the ball. Touch, missed, unforgivably. Tried to chew off too large a chunk of the touchline, and then it's not collected cleanly, the ball jangling around and a big hit arriving just as it was finally pouched. Scotland under pressure, but driving their way forward. Very well done too. Double hits arriving from England. High, up and under, on the angle, straight out, and really, you have to say that that is reward for England in the pressure they're applying, but also Scotland slightly the architects of their undoing by missing touch there. Keelan Freeman-Price of Gloucester wants a back row, now a hooker.
Back, play on.
Play on?
Advantage.
Now it is advantage for Scotland.
No advantage, okay?
Seemingly,
No come for wide.
the first mishandle are judged to have been okay, but fortunately for Scotland, and I think for everyone, a second knock-on coming, and justice served.
Remember, okay?
Big expectation on England right now. 3 from 3 last year against Wales, Scotland and Georgia. I did suffer a couple of international series defeats to Ireland and South Africa later in the summer. Their last defeat in the festival was 2 years ago. That was to the host France. Stable scrum for Scotland to launch. Oh, the arrival was at such pace. Really, Scotland were lucky to only knock on and not wear a thunderous challenge. The timing was almost perfect. Very loose at the moment as both sides look to settle.
Number 5, Bulu. Not rolling away, okay?
But the captain, Christian Lindsay, pinged for not rolling away. So a penalty to England.
You okay?
And they don't hesitate in indicating they're going to go to the corner. A second touch of the match missed, but almost a gift for England.
Okay.
And Junior Denny out there on that edge.
No, it was not gone, okay? No, it's okay. I stay here, okay?
So Scotland's desperation to keep the ball in play from the penalty almost saw them. Let Junior Denny in, let's take a look.
Clear, break foot.
Batted back in, pick-up was good from Denny. Cover defence, timely.
Sir, stability, okay?
Denny, an immensely athletic winger, tall, rangy. One of 5 under-17-year-olds in this England starting 15.
Up. Three, one.
Front rows
I want the stability.
of Logan
Okay,
Hendry,
long and
Jack
clear
Utterson
bank,
and Jackson Rennie for Scotland. Whilst England present Alan Poku, Freeman Price and Harry Wright. And plenty of ballast
Bind!
and powerful rumps behind them all. Scotland getting the nudge,
Number 1 blue.
but illegally slow so by Logan Hendry. England into the midfield, demonstrating exquisite hands. Charlie Tamani, well, he took a couple of nibbles to gather and then shows his immense power and determination to reverse his way across the line, and with a couple of Scots hanging from his frame.
Number 1 blue cross. Okay.
Well, I told you he was deadly. I didn't know he could do it whilst travelling backwards. Awkward pass, gathered, class upon, 1, 2, 3 Scots upon him, but still with the power to make it to the paint. 16 years old, what a prospect. Well, almost swerved left to right, but Oscar Talbot misses the mark. First points of the match to England. Just a glimpse of their backline ambition and the threat that is looming large on that left wing. Kickoff is put upon Tamani, who leaves it for his teammate
No.
and gets clobbered into touch. That was a fabulous kickoff. Could say that England could have been more authoritative, but you have to pay all credit to the positioning and the hang time on the kick.
Come on.
Utterson again finds his man with ease at the front. England look to have got an arm in to spoil that. Scotland frantic to get it free from their grip, and they do so, and they enter the 22. Two-man hits from England again, who are painting a clear picture of release and desire to get jackling the ball. The big arms don't come swinging down this time, so Utterson drives on. More good work moving right. Johnston looking to drive the tempo, but a shuddering hit dislodges the ball from Hendry's grip. Now it's Denny combining with his backs. Oh, the offloading is exquisite. Sublime rugby in the sun from England. Junior Denny just lifts one through the skylight. End-to-end, exhilarating handling from England. And Oscar Talbot rounds off the try of the day so far. undefendable. Warsnip arriving, freeing up the hands. Mears working hard in support. Vic's the last man. Brought in Denny, who just popped it over the tackles that were arriving safely to Talbot. And he will now make it a dozen points in under 10 minutes. England on top early.
Okay, time off. 11.
Two involvements from Denny, who worked hard to get back into the play. You see him there in the background. He's got up,
Time on.
he's stuck to his edge. And he's so awkward because he's so tall.
Back up. Back.
Scotland haven't done a huge amount wrong here,
Backwards.
but England, with their two attacking attempts, have been flawless.
No. Left up. Are you sure? Okay. It's over there? Good. Okay. Time off.
An injury to one of the England players. Number 8, George Marsh,
Okay.
of the Leicester Tigers. He's played England under-19s this year. There's a couple in the ranks. Him and James
Are you okay?
Hayter
Oh, okay.
among them. That young man there, he's an under-17-year-old. So a few more years on the clock for him. England, of course, are the under-20 World Rugby champions. They'll be heading to Italy
Okay.
to attempt to
Opening
defend
up.
their crown,
Water out, please.
but they
Time on.
won't have the likes of some of their big guns. Asher Opoku for Jor, Afo for Sogbon, and Henry Pollock among those graduating from the class of 2024, but it leaves the pathway clear for the next in white or in blue. Oh, it's a gift. Telegraphed, signed, sealed, delivered by Junior Denny.
Number 14.
England are having fun in the French sun.
14 wide, 5 points. Over there.
Just that pump gave Denny the time that he needed. He's a rangy figure. Wasn't even at full stretch, but plucked it. And then there was only one outcome.
20. Number 10. Number
And Talbot
10 wide, 2 points.
adds a second conversion. England 19 points with less than 13 minutes of the match played.
Inside.
A mountain to climb
Back up.
early
No hands.
in this 70-minute match for Scotland. And England, as you can imagine,
Back on.
are full of ambition. Freddie Ogden-Metherell of Gloucester carrying through the middle. And it's the big boys doing the damage through the guts that are allowing the likes of Keelan Freeman, Price and the backs to express themselves out wide. Scotland survey the scene.
Get out.
Boot to ball, find some green grass, and a nice run as well.
We are outside. Back. Back.
That is a cannon of a boot, and that is one of the biggest 50-22s you will see at any level of rugby.
Well done. Well done. Yeah.
A bazooka of a boot from England, and they are banging at the Scots' defensive door once more.
Be careful on the front, okay? Here up. 6. Hey, 10 meters. 9. 10 meters, okay?
Freeman Price
Ball.
to the front. He'll receive it on the short edge, backing his one-on-one power,
Back.
but desperate defence from Scotland. Johnston arriving in the nick of time.
It's the back.
Well, slight loss of rhythm on the carry, but no absence of muscle. It is pure power from England,
5 points.
and it is try number 4 within a quarter of an hour of the match played. Scotland had weathered the initial storm, but they didn't stand a hope of repelling young Jack Lewis, the Northampton Saint. That is a big 16-year-old. Talbot turns 5-7. And England now have 26 points in 16 minutes. Tamani knocks the ball on from the kick, and Scotland has some cherished time on the ball in the England half.
No. Advantage over.
Nice step inside from Will Corbett of Wellington School.
Enough.
Now it's the arrival of Utterson,
No, release.
who wears a shuddering shot from the English back row. Cute ball over the top on the angle. That's interesting. Tamani slightly caught out for a moment,
No.
but the touchline coming to England's rescue.
Here, okay? Keep it up, okay? Ball! Advantage! High tackle!
Scotland forced to go high.
Left here.
Tough because Jack
Okay,
Lewis went
okay,
in
high tackle.
incredibly low.
High tackle from Blue.
How do you stop him when he gets the pistons pumping? Talbot's looking an assured presence, isn't he, in that 10 jersey?
Blue on the line. 1 meter, okay? Open. Open. No. Right,
Jackson
open
Rennie.
the gap. 1 meter. Open.
The man pinged for that challenge on Lewis. England comfortable to go from the tail, and they are delivering some interesting shapes in the midfield. Very tricky to pick up defensively. Denny goes to the boot. The ricochet goes the way of England, and they're once again threatening from the outskirts of the Scottish 22. Big, meaty carries arriving from the pack in the form of Harry Wright. Now, to their big weapon, the backs.
Release, tackle.
Freeman Price gets picked up and driven back, but England still have lightning quick ball to work with. Talbot on the wraparound. One last pass will do it. And Henry Laidlow, another under 17-year-old, showing that the future is very bright for the men in white. Well, England are precise, they're handling crisp, and right now, super ruthless.
Yeah. After commercial, water break, yeah.
And you hear there,
Okay.
through the referee's mic, that we are going to have a water break in a moment. Such are the hot conditions here for the under-18s. Talbot adds the extras.
Okay. Water break.
And it seems ironic that we're having a water break because
2 minutes for water.
both England and Scotland have been afforded 5 of them so far.
Okay. 2 minutes for water.
But for Scotland, that has come hand in hand with 5 tries conceded. It has been an English blitz in the opening 20 minutes. And at 33-0, they're pretty much out of sight.
We need water too. I feel you over. Yeah. Vale. 2 minutes. Okay. No, I think so. Thank Max. Is it okay? Three penalties? Three penalties, yes. 3, 4. Okay. I have like 15 left. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Additional liquid taken on board and a chance for Scotland to regather. For England, that chat would have been a case of we changed nothing. More of the same, but more.
Wait until the whistle, okay? The whistle. Yeah. Okay.
5 tries
Time on.
shared around the backs and forwards. Scotland restarting the first half with 15 minutes to go, trailing by 33.
Tackle.
Victor Warsnip puts the footwork on. Talbot puts the side of the boot on. Scotland have a great launch pad here.
Okay. Come on.
Line-out's been good for Scotland so far. Option offered at the front, and it does go there. Scotland are immediately looking for width, but they can't preserve possession in the contact. England have proven themselves to be deadly in transition. Denny gets the chicken wing working this time. And while the offload sticks, there just isn't enough room.
Okay. Okay, okay. Thanks. Time off.
Bit of attention required for
Okay,
Victor
no.
Warsnip, who is
Okay.
making his first start
No, water out.
since
Scotland, out,
South
water out,
Africa
please.
last August. He's had
Time on.
a dreadful time with injuries,
Time
the
on.
Bristol Bear. But he's back, starting in white once again. And he's been involved
No,
in a few of the tries.
Tackle.
Scotland are yet
Advantage,
to carve
not rolling away.
a true try-scoring opportunity out.
Advantage, not rolling away.
They're playing rugby in heavy weather, but that's a nice line, asking questions of the English midfield. Corbett in against the grain. Scotland, that beyond the halfway line.
Okay,
They had the penalty
not rolling
advantage.
away.
Just a hint
Okay.
from Gregor Johnston
Thanks, Luca. Not rolling away.
about going quickly, but instead he asked his half-back partner, Henry Widdowson, to find touch, and a good one he does.
Thanks. Yeah, okay. Stay on the front, okay? Come on. Thanks.
Again, plenty of joy at the line-out for Scotland, who now get a chance to flex their mauling muscles. England infiltrate it though. And George Marsh is all over it. Scrum awarded to Scotland and the moment gone.
We're going out with him, okay? Kick here, okay? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Last penalty was because of that, okay? 1, 3. Both of you, okay? Straight. Yeah, square. That's better, okay? Keep there. Road! Boy! So! It's okay.
Penalty to England. And an easy escape. Talbot is, he's got his angles figured out, hasn't he?
No, 11.
Ambitious kicking out of hand rewards England. So they have to bat that one back. To Marnie, you don't want to give him any space at all. This kid's a cheat code.
Back on.
But he gets brought down. Denny sticks out one long sticky paw to reel a ball in, miles behind him.
Okay, release.
Now England revert back to their structure. Forwards and backs offering threats. Outstanding steal at the breakdown. Scotland, now it's their turn to play in transition. The ball offloaded round the back of the tackle. Wonderful light hands from Lindsay. Scotland beginning to play some rugby. Slaloming through the forest of white jerseys. Marsh makes the hit. Rolls out of the way in laboured fashion that just delays Scottish ball by a beat. Over the top they go. That's inventive. Oh, it's glorious. But the whistle goes.
11 blue.
And
11 blue offside.
apparently for offside. England aren't going to hang around and seek clarification. But it's watchful work out wide from Lloyd Moncrief. The Calder Glen High School 8 wraps up Junior Denny. But how about this for a bit of an invention? almost
10
worked.
left, okay? Good. Now
But
play.
the timing slightly off.
Now we wanna play.
Scotland ultimately conceding a
Now
penalty.
play on. Opening up.
Well, it was hesitant, and there was an air of Scotland not knowing what they were doing with that move. They do emerge with possession, but immediately
Okay, go. First,
then knock it forward.
Knock on from white. Knock on from blue. Scrum blue, okay?
Well, 33 points in the first 20 minutes of the match.
Scrum blue.
Got one in the next 7. What did they put in those waters?
Yeah.
We want the
Nice.
running
I
rugby
want the
back.
stability, okay? Last one here was okay. Keep it like that.
However, this will very much suit Scotland, who've
Number 9. 9.
stemmed the flow.
9. Here, please. You have to tap here. Good. Yes. Point. Set.
Johnston, the Glasgow Warrior under 18-year-old, doesn't even get the chance
Go down. Yeah. Go
to
and go down.
crouch down
Captain.
to feed the ball into the scrum.
Penalty from the same reason, okay? Number 3. Collapse the scrum.
Jackson Rennie,
Okay, captain.
the man identified as the culprit.
Be careful with the penalties.
Scotland with an informal warning as well.
Come on!
England enter the Scottish 22 once more. They've delivered 5 tries this half.
First stop. First stop.
There's a 6
Stop. 5.
in their immediate future. The handling, the shapes are so intricate, and Charlie Tamani is utterly unstoppable. The Northampton Saint coming from range and just skittling Scottish defenders. The tackling was tepid, but the power was awesome, and Tamani has a double. England up to 40. 6 minutes of the first half remaining.
Okay, good.
One crumb of cup for Scotland is their line out has been faultless. Their handling in looking to get the ball wide, on the other hand, less so. Rory McAfee getting onto the loose ball. He's been living off scraps, the fullback. Drifted over the top. That's nice from Scotland.
5 minutes left. Okay, 5 minutes.
A bit of urgency at the arrival of the breakdown. Scotland are so flat, though. And it is in no small part to the voraciousness of England's defence.
Okay. 14 in front.
Well,
okay.
they're being driven back at a rate of knots. The line was flat. They went for the crossfield, and Luca Mathieson judged to have been in front. So another penalty for England. Their red zone efficiency red hot. And another line out in the 22.
Captain, man from Mel. Sorry.
England wrapping round the corner, delivering big men at seams, and Scotland almost split. The arrival of more ballast, more brawn in whites. England surging towards the Scottish line once more, seeking a 7th.
It's available.
And they get it.
Okay, we won.
The speed of ball, the velocity of the carries. Scotland were always scrambling.
3 minutes left, okay? Roman, 3 left, okay? 3 left.
Well, it looks like an awkward placement from George Marsh, but the referee right on the spot and happy to award the man from Denston England's 7th try. Talbot does the rest from the tee. And England are 3 shy of a half century in a first half.
Now we have 2.5, wait. Step back. Inside. Nice, okay. Now.
England oozing confidence with the ball in hand, but inaccurate as they rip one left to right. Denny attempts an offload that no coach would be that happy with in a 22. Somehow he manages to keep the ball stuck in his mitt.
9, use it.
Stripped by Scotland before losing it forward. England kick away the advantage, and Scotland have a bit of room to strike now. Surveying the scene, picking their moment, targeting the shoulder of Tamani. But he shows he's just as good, both sides of the ball. Awkward situation there from Warsnip, who came in for the ball for the man. It was mistimed, and the assistant is in.
Who made the tagger? Number white against the blue. That's penalty, okay? Okay, thanks. Okay. High tagger from white, okay?
And here it was the loose ball.
3.
Not sure he's trying to do that. I think he was banking on it popping into his hands before he made the hit. But Scotland now, the dying embers of the first half. Can they get something positive to take into the halftime huddles? Rennie. Now the forward just slipping the ball, no look out the back. The long ball is on the bootstraps of Will Corbett, who can't gather it cleanly.
Last play. Last play. Great. I want the stability, okay? Yeah. Okay. You bind long? Yeah. Enough. Okay. Yeah, please. Okay.
It'll be the final play. It is a half that belongs unequivocally to England.
Bind! Set!
And it is won that they will also close with one extra player. More problems for Scotland to solve. They will start the second half and see most of the start.
We need a replacement for number 3.
With only 14 on the field, they're going to have to make a replacement as well
It's a penalty, okay?
to be able to complete the scrum. So things going from bad to worse.
Stop.
Ollie Anderson,
Do you ask for a scrum? No, no.
the Edinburgh tight head.
Yeah. No scrum? Okay. No, wait. No. My fault, okay. No scrum. Number 18 out, okay?
Is going to be
Okay,
sent
sorry.
back across
No
the
scrum,
touchline
just
because
penalty,
England are not going to take the scrum. Instead, they're going to say, enough's enough. 47 points in 35 minutes. We will take that.
My fault.
And look at the energy in that England team, bounding off.
I hear scrum, so
Full of beans and with a full scoreboard, leading 47-0 at the break. The tallest of tasks for this young Scottish team to rally in this second half, trailing 47 points to 0 at the break. England were exceptional.
it's okay. English captain. Good. Okay. Time on.
Second half of England v Scotland in the 2025 Six Nations Under-18s Festival is underway, and the ball is in the hands of England. It's jingling and jangling around, and it was almost an 8th try right from the get-go
Okay.
after a knock-on from Scotland on the reception.
Knock on blue. Knock on white. Okay,
Wow.
came off.
That is precisely
Substitution.
what
okay.
Scotland did not want.
We need front row, number 3.
And from that knock-on, we are going to be forced to have a replacement. I think that
Okay.
Ollie Anderson
7 and 7, okay? Yeah.
of Stuart Melville College is
I will
finally
take it,
going
okay?
to get onto the field.
Stability.
Lloyd Moncrief will be sacrificed while the yellow card is served. Jackson Rennie,
Okay.
the man in the bin.
Long man and stability, okay? Elbow
England.
up, okay? Thanks.
Stepping back and adding depth upon depth upon depth. Tamani
Mine.
lurks on the inside shoulder
Set. Square.
of Oscar Talbot.
Keep it there.
Off go England, out the back, a dummy from Talbot, Tamani ignored, and Talbot fork lifted by 3 Scotsmen who deliver him to the deck, and a force to release. England continue rounds to the right.
Mine.
More muscular D offered by the Scots. Light hands from England, and it pops up into Scottish hands.
Step back.
Just reward for watchful and abrasive challenges.
Release.
Harry Laidlow, the second row, attempting to hold up his man. Try score in the first half. And a fine clearance from Scotland under immense pressure there. Defensive grit on show
Sorry, okay?
from the dark blue jerseys of Scotland.
Stop. Nice. The gap, okay? Stop.
Line-out's been excellent from both sides today. Mears fizzes it away. England out to the midfield. Slight lack of fluency. For once, not every individual knowing their role. England played with such freedom of ambition in that first half. Forwards and backs linking in unison. Again, the handling not precise. But Laidlow does very, very well from a standing start. Large frame. The Harlequin.
Advantage. You're playing on the floor.
Well, it was advantage to Scotland for the knock-on, and they do get the knock-on. They do get the advantage because England then play the ball on the floor. Scotland come into this excited. I said that, spoke before, their preparation's gone well. They've had warm-ups against Wales, Newcastle Falcons and Scotland Under-19s. But the preparation can be as good as can be. If it doesn't click on the day, it can make for a long afternoon in the hot, hot sun of central France. Vichy, just north of some of the hotbeds of French rugby.
No, 7. It's 7. No, 7.
If you're not familiar, about an hour's drive from Clermont-Ferrand.
Okay, it's 7 against 7. No.
Home of Clermont-Auvergne.
Guys, the last one was great, okay? Keep the elbow up.
And northwest of Lyon. So a lot of interest in rugby around these parts, and they'll be packed in to see Les Bluets up against Spain, who make their tournament bow later on today.
Thanks.
Well, England's precision has evaded them. Charlie Tamani beats one, beats a second, maintains his balance, blasts through a third, offloads to a friend, collects the next loose ball, and Charlie Tamani is not going to get a triple just yet because he offloads selflessly as he tumbled towards the try line. England past the 50 mark, and Isaac Mears, like every good scrum half should do, on the trailing support line, and he receives a little present from the powerhouse Saint, who started it all. Looked like he was going to finish it all. It was a marvellous tap tackle. Isaac Mears, though, gets on the end, and England have their first points of the second half. Talbot sneaks one inside the right upright, and judging by his change of direction,
Number 12 also.
that'll be his last effort. Tamani, he was tackled 3 times but still managed to get going, then battled to get back into the play. I think if he'd known where the line was, he may have rolled one more and finished his hat-trick. He's not going to get the opportunity to do so because it looks like he may be among the changes.
Okay, time on.
Or is he? England commit the cardinal sin of allowing the kickoff to bounce, but when it's your day, it's your day. And England continue to make hay while the central French sun shines. Freddie Ogden-Metherall, the Gloucester second row, all 6'8" of him, is fouled and gives away a penalty.
Number 8, they need to do the floor.
Changing personnel in the 10 jersey for England. Hugh Shields on wearing 23. So we did see in the earlier game between Georgia and Italy, the one that Italy triumphed in with 5 tries. And as with all replacements, the rhythm of the match is somewhat disrupted, particularly so at under-18 level. Can England maintain their flow, or can Scotland use their replacements to breathe a bit of oxygen into their fight? Available on the floor for Scotland, held on though.
Number 4, side entry.
Ogden Metherall penalised again. Back-to-back penalties for the 6'8" second row, who, believe it or not, was once upon a time a jockey. And then he started playing the game 2 years ago. Not many 6'8" jockeys out there. Scotland, as close as they've been all match, they go to their captain, their banker Lindsay in the middle. And the blue wave forms around him. Can it wash across the English try line? White jerseys melded in, and they may just be reduced here to 14. The double blast is never promising.
Enough, okay? We have like 3-4 minutes, 2 penalties in a row. It's enough, okay? Have a word.
Will Knight is given the warning.
Here with me, okay?
So England on their last rights as far as the referee's pocket is concerned.
Cross entry. Come on. Okay, tell me the number. Color.
And Henry Widowson.
11-12 replacement. 11-12 substitution.
Probes Scotland
11-12
to as close as they've been all match.
11-12.
Glenn Gamble
11 and
is
12.
making way. So too Joe Taylor for Scotland.
And where is it? Okay. I was getting confused with the 15. Okay. What? I was getting confused with number 15. Okay. It's okay, Roman? Okay. Time on.
And number 24, Harry Clark, is on. Off the top, but not straight. Just as Clark was revving into gear
Captain.
from the midfield.
Captain. Line out the scrum.
England get the option. They opt for the scrum.
Let's go, let's go.
And it looks like they've run the changes in the front row as well. Sam Bland at tight head, and Bishop Wands and Harlequins Gerald Gorliku in at hooker. Hugely powerful and dynamic man. He's also capable at prop. Well, it's not an easy passage for the ball. It gets tangled in the limbs, and it's a free kick to Scotland. And is this their time to get some points on the board? This is better from the men in blue. Ollie Anderson. Now the pick and drive, tight to the line. Harvey Preston, as close as Scotland have been, but held up heroically so by England. Scotland within a whisker, but denied on the line.
Step back. Whenever you want.
Well, it's not the longest of goal line clearances, is it? That was begging for an offload, and it eventually arrived in the form of Preston, who's had a good few minutes. Oh, a scything line from the blind spot. The English defence razored open, and Scotland have something to sing about in the sun at long, long last. It took a bit of guile and no shortage of searing pace from Rory McAfee. And the Peebles man gets Scotland on the board.
Okay. Later on, okay.
Who needs a fly half when you got Christian Lindsay in at first receiver? The big second row manipulating the English defence. And the flying fullback finishing the job.
20 seconds.
Just the 5
14
for Scotland,
Substitution.
but points nevertheless.
Okay. Substitution, mate. Okay. Left, right. Okay. Inside.
Hammered. And well held.
No hands, no hands.
A much better performance from Scotland
No.
in this opening 14 minutes. England looking a lot less slick than they did. Must not take away from England just how fine they were in that first 35 minutes. 70-minute matches at under-18s level.
We are in.
It's going to be a grueling few days. It's going to be a fabulous few days for all these young men pulling on their country's jersey. Scotland are beginning to express themselves. Clark chips over the top, but well covered across. It was wonderful positioning, but the pass that followed, not a match to that positioning. Clearly forward. And England's
Number 8, number 4.
a little error strewn in this second half
8
so
and
far.
4. Substitution. 8 and 4. Yeah, we have our injured player there. Time up. Time up, okay? Roman, which substitution here? Oh, it's okay.
An awkward collision
Okay.
there with Lloyd Moncrief
Yeah, tell me.
of Calder Glen High School,
Tell me the numbers.
who's already missed a portion of the
15.
match as he had to ride the pine whilst the sin bin
Number 4, number 8.
of Jackson Rennie was served.
Okay. Here, it's come. Number 8.
The referee takes this injury as an opportunity for the
Okay.
second and
Let's go back.
final
Substitution, okay?
water break of the match. No,
Let's come
I beg
here,
your pardon.
okay. Forward pass. It's for you, yeah.
Replacements coming on. A raft of changes in both white and blue. One of those is James Townsend wearing 22 for England on for Isaac Mears.
Okay.
Matthew Branch Holland as well, packing down in the number 8 position.
Shoot! Point! Set! Stay ball! Spin up, go spin up, go spin up! Yes, spin up! Yes!
England conceding a free kick. It was one-way traffic,
Okay.
done so in illegal fashion.
Oh.
Penalty, I beg your pardon.
Number 1. Yeah, it's penalty. Not free kick, right? It's penalty. Number 1. Number 1. Or loose head.
Number 1 the call, but I think that Ollie Spencer is on at loose head now, wearing 17. Well, half the English back row wasn't even attached by the conclusion of that scrum. That was the power, or the illegally generated power.
Stop.
Scotland really with a bit of zip in their heels now. Accelerating to the English line. That was a pressure pass, and it's a second intercept picked off by England and punished by Zach Finch. The Zach attack strikes for England, and it is try number 9.
Yeah. I'm in minute 15, okay?
Scotland
3 minutes more.
were looking good.
Okay.
They were flying onto the
In 3
ball.
minutes, water break. Okay?
But again,
Everyone,
too much
3
risk.
minutes more and water break. Okay?
And Zach Finch doing just as Junior Denny did in the first half, snaffling an intercept.
Yes?
Then his fly half, adding the extras. England 61, Scotland 5. 17.5 minutes to play.
Scotland, left, right. More.
Ball called from the kick.
More, it's available.
Ball somehow
available,
available.
Lucy.
How of England
Vantage.
broken that free? Well, there's advantage here for England. Looked like a committed counter ruck from
Yeah.
Scotland,
But first is cross entry from loose.
but it's about the entry, and England are now about the tempo. Fast hands,
Okay?
dummy sold but not bought by the Scottish defence. A lot of white jerseys here if the hands can get going. Little tip off the shoulder. England with a renewed vigour.
Tackle not rolling away.
Out to the second layer, no options outside, so heads back into heavy traffic. Oh, an explosion onto the ball
Tackle.
from range, just about across the halfway line. The Scottish defence holding firm, but are they going to be unpicked now by the brilliant hands of England? Finch, the latest scorer, upended. Townsend. Brilliant hands, wonderful grasp at pace. England, plenty of phases, not many meters, but now they pierce the Scottish line. The inside ball working for them almost to as good an effect as it did Scotland for their try.
Okay. Number 20, not rolling away. Number 20, not rolling away.
Will Lockhart's of Boroughmuir not rolling away.
Tell me, substitution.
And England deep into Scottish territory.
England, number 13. 13, substitution.
Victor Warsnip,
Nice.
and his first
Yeah,
start
okay.
in approaching a year
Wait, no,
for
no, no.
England
Time
comes
out.
to a close,
Wait until he leaves the field.
and he'll be delighted to have got
Time on.
55 good minutes under his belt and emerge unscathed. Gorleku wraps around,
That was movement on the lineup, okay? That.
but he is penalised for a dummy throw.
No.
Don't see that too often. Gorleku, though, found guilty of the sin. Game is opening up, the structure breaking down. Gorleku takes out his throwing frustration with a big hit in the midfield. Out the back, Scotland go. They break down the English defence who are doglegging. Tamani is in a battle to race back. The offload arrives. Still there for Scotland, who gather. Now width offered. Now the forwards arriving. Oh, but the impact sees the ball dislodged. A promising break. Breaks down in the hands of Dan Casserly.
Make the substitution now, okay?
For the first time, Scotland had fashioned a fracture in the English defence. They poured through, but credit to Tamani, who had the pace on his man.
It's here for you? No.
And we will have that second water break. And when we resume, we'll have 13.5 minutes remaining of the match.
Thanks. Do you think too many penalties? More than the first one? Similar? With Sue and I in this team, they start doing like penalty, they stop. And then let's see now. Well seen. You also see a double movement or double pump on the lineup. Who told me the double movement? Good. Thanks. Okay. So guys, let's go. Okay. Yeah. I will look forward, okay? Okay, welcome.
Final instalment of England against Scotland in the opening match day of the Six Nations Under-18s festival.
Oh, we're inside. Yeah.
Ready to recommence. England with an exhilarating first half. 47 points scored unanswered. Scotland bared their teeth a little more in this second stanza. Try from Rory McHaffey is their sole scoreboard offering. England and Tamati continue to threaten. Tamani declined the opportunity for a hat-trick. Oh, that's exquisite. No look, off the shoulder. This deserves to be finished if England can keep composed. Like a bull in a Scottish china shop. Into the 22 England go. The dummy kick, the long miss, drifted ball. That is England at their very best. Archie Appleby gets on the end of a move that had it all. And England have yet another here in France.
Close to the line, okay?
Well, an off-the-shoulder ball that did the cameraman. Careering into the Scottish 22, and then the pass picked. Appleby at full stretch. And then it was easy street from there. They knew from the moment it left his boot, Hugh Shields. Ten tries now for England. Appleby's effort takes them into double figures. Well, Spain, who are up next against France, will be watching on with some discomfort at the prospect of facing England in their next match.
No, the limit is over here. No.
Scotland,
Okay. High tiger from
they have an equally daunting prospect of playing Ireland on match day 2. 4-day turnarounds here at the competition, so it's going to be a real examination of depth in the squads, and also an opportunity for young men to get plenty of minutes. The end of the competition is for exposure. It's for development. Every player should get a start.
Now, yeah.
Scotland get a line out steal. Not seen many of those today. The aerial set piece has been outstanding from both.
Offside. Offside.
Scotland are beginning to play a little bit more. They may have just conceded, but there is a greater sense of fluency.
Blue playing advantage.
Advantage there for them. No way through the white wall. Back to the penalty we come.
Yeah. Offside from white.
Well into the last 10 minutes of the match now. A reminder that 70-minute matches for the Under-18s festival. And England, who warmed up with a loss in Cork to Ireland, have taken out some of their frustrations here on a different set of Celts. Off the top goes Scotland, but
It's clearly not straight, okay?
throw not straight.
Half time. Line out the scrum. Okay. Here to it. You are okay like this, okay? 9. Close to him, word. Root! Boy! Set!
Scrum has been strong from both sides, and it's a stable platform for England to bring in some complex shapes. Tamani opts to hold on, and at long last, a first up tackle sticks on the threatening stain. England rather sort of swim through the tackles. Ball's left behind, and Scotland pounce.
White. Scotland, number 7, substitution. Okay, number 7.
Scotland's Harvey Preston. He's going to get a rest for the final moments of this match.
The play on.
And Captain Will Knight, the guilty party, though a combination of his run and the pass being a touch behind him at pace.
Keep it straight.
Will Knight, who's played for England under-19s already, he's even trained with the 20s as well. There's a lot of excitement, quite how high his ceiling is. His brother Max will be competing for Hartpury in a Bucks Super Rugby final next week against Loughborough. So A lot of rugby to celebrate in the
yeah.
Knight family at the moment.
Yes. Nah, it was forward, okay? It was clearly forward. Okay. New scrum here. Here, guys. No come by blue. Here. No. Outside, yeah. You are outside, okay? You taking it. You are taking it.
Let's go, front row, let's go another one, eh?
Good!
Let's go, Chaz!
Mind! Set!
England break away with their scrum under duress. They do have advantage here as Scotland battle on the floor. And we come back.
Number one.
Approaching the final 5 minutes, and a lot of the rhythm gone from the game, but not an ounce of the physicality.
Stop. Hey, no.
Fighting through the challenges go England. Ollie Spencer swatting away Scotsman. But again, the imprecision that has plagued England since the half-time break
It's touch it outside, okay?
returns.
White on the mark. Blues.
You understand
okay.
some of the intensity dropping from the game with the scoreboard as it is, but I imagine that England and Jonathan Pendlebury will probably spend more of their time analysing this second half and where they let themselves down. Still a commanding performance for England and auspicious signs for the rest of the festival.
Advantage.
Well, it is loosey-goosey out there, isn't it? And the referee's whistle is getting the biggest work out.
No, 10 meters here, now 10 meters more, okay? Yeah. Number two, no 10 meters.
Scotland see yellow. Reduced for the closing stanza of a half once again, just as they were in the first half. And England with a line out 7 meters from the Scottish line. This was their try-scoring playground in the first half. Gorleku finds his man. England wrap around to the short side. Gorleku won't be stopped from point-blank range. And the hooker gets England's 11th try
Left, okay?
of the afternoon.
Five left, yeah.
Bishop One's finest. Wasn't going to miss from there. Posts evade Hugh Shields once again. Great attempt. The cover tackle from Max Morrison.
Okay. 4.5, okay? Keep there.
Gorleku. He's a tough man to tackle at the best of times, let alone from 1 meter out. England 71, Scotland 5. And England beginning to rev the engine late in this contest. The replacement, the intercept architect, Zach Finch, goes weaving through the Scottish arms but finds himself isolated and holding on.
Holding on. Oh, I don't see clearly, okay? Not clear for me. Here. In this action. Oh, I didn't see the way. But thanks, Kaplan, thanks, okay. Okay. No. Just here. White. White.
Enterprising play from England once more. The blueprint, forwards and backs, playing rugby as if they don't have numbers on the backs of their jerseys. Fine all-round skill set, but Finch caught on his own. Final moments. And Scotland looking to double their try-scoring tally. Lovely stop and start and a hitch forward. Nice glimpse of the talents of Luca Mathieson. English arms pour through. Ball spills loose. There for England. Finch bouncing around. Shovels it on. Bit more direct.
No, they hit the floor.
From Henry Laidlow. And now it's instinct, now it's invention.
No advantage.
Well, no advantage.
It's here, okay, for you. Luca here. Now go my blue. No advantage, okay?
You would suspect that this will be the last play of the match.
2.5 left, okay?
2.5 left.
We need a hookah.
So, a little bit more to go.
Okay. Okay. Stability, okay? Keep it square. Huge! Mind! Set!
England flash the ball left, silky hands, Charlie Tamani. He's threatened a hat-trick all day. He looks to battle through a bevy of Scottish bodies.
No.
An Englishman was arriving at high velocity, but he couldn't quite hold on to the loose ball.
Okay. Ooh. Number 2 is coming back.
And I think all the players out there would be happy for an early whistle now.
1 minute left, okay?
Blisteringly hot out there. Water breaks in effect. That tells you the tale.
Problem solved, no? Okay.
Let's go, one more. Let's go. Time. Let's go, Second. More done.
Huge!
Down.
Mind! Set! For me, it's okay.
Scotland mix it up with a chip over the top.
For me, it's okay.
Collected as well.
Offside.
England with an undefended backfield. A spun on their heels. It's a committed chase and charge from Scotland. And that'll be the final act of a Calcutta Cup contest that was England's from the very start. It was a first half blitz from England that saw them lead 47-0 at the break. Charlie Tamani caught the eye with 2 tries in the first half. And it was 11 in total for those young men in white. And it's victory over Scotland on match day 1 of the Six Nations Under-18s Festival 2025. England victorious over Scotland, 71 points to 5.